All right, Bitcoin bulls back in form today with the 10% pop. Let's bring in Scott Bauer, who's down at the CME to chat some crypto with us. Scott, good to have you on the program because I love talking some BTC. On the one hand, I guess not a shock that once again we zoom back above 10 after breaking it, but this is a pretty solid gain happening amid a solid gain in gold, which definitely helps that thesis.
No doubt about it. It was just last Thursday, Oliver, I sat in this same place here talking about how bad this move was for Bitcoin to the bottom, you know, with what happened on the BitMEX exchange. And then all of a sudden we get this big boom up. Now, I don't think it's as much a coincidence that it's moving with gold as it is the news that came out about the potential launch of an ETF or an ETF type product, which is happening in 2 days.
That Van Eck thing, right?
That to me, that to me is the golden goose here.
Okay, so to be clear, this is because I was kind of curious about this as well, Scott, because I didn't see that headline until I was digging around this morning. I just saw gold up, BTC up, and then it's about Van Eck issuing institutional clients access to, their own basic holdings of BTC. It's not really like an ETF, right? It's kind of like a trust situation.
Exactly, and what it actually is, and let's be clear here, it is not an ETF. However, like you said, this is a way for institutional investors only, not retail investors yet, institutional investors only who are pre-approved, okay, to be able to trade in an ETF-like environment. There's some limitation through the SEC where Van Eck has found this, let's call it a loophole. It is what it is. They found this loophole where this new product does not need securities registration in order for it to come to market.
Right.
So the thought process on the street is, okay, maybe this is the first of a long-awaited, process here of what may open up the door towards an ETF. That, to me, again, this is the most important thing that's come out, not this move coinciding with gold along the way here.
All right, that's an interesting take. I mean, to me, that one's got holes in it too, right? Because you've still got the futures that have been tradable for institutions with enough money probably to qualify for using the Van Eck system that they're offering. But yet the BTC volume is, withered in a pretty big way since the, spring pop. Do we know if there's incremental, does it make sense for there to be sort of incremental institutional investors if they're not showing up already in the market?
I mean, I haven't seen any details to that effect yet. I think what this is it's like maybe cracking the egg a little bit, that maybe there's a light now at the end of the tunnel. And that could still be a very dark tunnel in terms of ETFs and the SEC and any sort of regulation coming forward. However, it is one of the bright spots that has finally come through.
Yeah. All right. So let's put this in perspective with the gold move as well, because if it is linked at the hip, it's important because when these two move in unison, it gives BTC some credence. Now, of course, the catch is gold is about to break out to a new high today. We're still well below that for Bitcoin. For gold, Scott, does break a new high make you want to jump onto the train?
Boy, I was shorted for so long and finally, covered my you-know-whats a while ago, and it really does, because I look at not
your
only
puts,
just
covered your puts.
There you go. You're right. Not only the momentum behind this, but if you look at the volatility in the gold space here, we are seeing such extreme vol. We don't necessarily see this with a big blast to the upside here. And I really think that is as much of a momentum builder as we've seen here. And yeah, I mean, all-time highs, I don't know if we're going to get to all-time highs. Near future, it's not stopping.
What do you think is the risk to the gold rally, Scott? We've seen some volatility around Powell commentary before where he doesn't give the same cut cycle outline that the bond market wants. We've seen gold come off a little bit on that, but with the rest of the world still in this trend for weakening data, Brexit now, firing up all kinds of political diatribes across the pond. Does gold have plenty to move on even with the dollar climbing, right? Because dollar you would think might start to weigh, but nope. No such thing.
Exactly. Nope. No, we've talked about this, 5 years down the road, it's going to be an unbelievable case study on how these things just moved lockstep together. But, there's so much out there right now. There's so much uncertainty globally from what you said in Brexit to the tariff talks to interest rates to the jobs number coming out on Friday. You know, we can get down as micro as that. And to me, if anything is going to halt the rally or at least just contain it a little bit, it's going to be two things. One, the jobs number that we get on Friday. And number two is are we going to start getting economic data that shows that manufacturing maybe didn't slow down? Was this just a one-off today, or is this a continuation? Because if it's a continuation, we're in trouble. And gold is going to continue to rally.
All right, nice hit, Scott Bauer. We got to run.
Thank you.
CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, good stuff as always.